Hey there everyone, welcome back to the channel. I know you just saw me today, maybe. I I looked at our stats and evidently the YouTube algorithm has not been great to us in the last few days. But I have been putting videos out. This is now, I think, the fourth one that I've done since the summon session on the new Three Houses banner that's live right now. So if you haven't seen any of those, please go take a look. Just let me know. Evidently, like 30 to 40% of you are saying that you're not getting stuff per the community tab poll I put out. So if you could let me know, that'd be great. Make sure you're subscribed if you still are. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Because we are hitting about 1/10 of our metrics that we normally would. So Daddy YouTube is mad at me, and I'm not really sure what I did. Maybe it's because I took 3 days off. I don't know. But that just might be what the case is. So just disclaimer, if you haven't been getting my stuff, I am putting stuff out. Go take a look. But now it's time to play Who's That Hero? And Who's That Hero is the best time of the Fire Emblem time, where we get to take a look and see, hey, these little Rorschach chests, I think that's what they're called, right? It's like a little ink blot, basically. But they're actually Fire Emblem characters, and they are seasonally fun to to partake in the banner with. Intros. So yeah, Who's That Hero is basically the video series where we go over and look at silhouettes that are up. I was actually just live when silhouettes dropped. I was writing a build review for Saros, and it was awesome, and I wasn't allowed to post it. Game press. So you know, if that's something that's interesting, let me know how to do that, because I still have it. I will probably save it. But regardless, we're here to look at this now. We talked in chat a little bit while I was live over who it might be, who it might not be. And I think when I first saw it, I had two inclinations. And it was quickly backed up by chat. However, chat is sometimes wrong. Okay? Not all the time, but sometimes. And in this case, I think they might be right. However, we went with some other options too. So I've got 3 that I think it might be on each side. Some just general stuff to get out of the way, I suppose. First, this is not a harmonized hero. I mean, there should be a harmonized hero on the banner, yes. But this is not that harmonized hero. If they do a harmonized hero like they did back in October when they put them on the silhouette drop for, who was it? Harmonized Tiki and Ninian, I think it was. They actually had 3 units on that silhouette. It was Tiki, Ninian, and then also Zane. So if they're going to do a harmonized, I feel like they will continue past trends and they'll put 3 units on the actual banner. So with that said, this is not a harmonized unit. Okay. So it's probably a split banner of sorts. The spring banner always has been. It's never just been one particular run. Kind of like Valentine's. Valentine's is usually just one series represented. Spring is not. Spring is usually a split banner. Sometimes just 2, sometimes 3 titles. It can vary. So just because the 2 units here are not a harmonized hero, doesn't mean that we're not getting one. We're definitely probably going to get one. But these guys can be from the same game. That is possible. Okay, I just want to point that out. Because more than likely what's here is a Tempest Trials unit or a 4-star demote and then a 5-star hero. That's probably what we're looking at in this silhouette. We don't know who they are necessarily, but that's probably who we're looking at. So with that out of the way, let's talk about who might actually be on this banner, yeah? So as far as this goes, yes. It is Severa. If it's not Severa, I'm going to be upset. If it is Severa, I'm going to be upset. I'm going to freak out one way or another. So you should definitely come back and watch the reaction video when that goes live, probably tomorrow at this point. Because I will freak out regardless. That is very much just a given. I think it's maybe worth noting that we had a similar occurrence with Winter Hilda, where we were like, well, is it Hilda? Is it Sarah? Is it Severa? I think it's Severa. Look, I gave it up for Hilda once. If it is not Severa this time, I will flip out on IS. Do not tempt me with pigtails and little decorative things where pigtail suction cups should be. IS, that's not cool, okay? Don't do that to me. That's not nice. That's not a nice thing. And mostly what gives me hope that if it is Severa, probably not this year, but maybe next year, we could have Cordelia. Maybe Cordelia's on the banner. How sick would that be? I don't know. Maybe she's part of a harmonized unit. That would be dope. But again, I'm not going to get my hopes up, but I also kind of am, so don't disappoint me, IS. Another option that I think it maybe could be, again, we just talked about Sarah. And there's a secondary reason for Sarah that I'll get into in a minute. But mostly I think it's Sarah because we had this whole debacle back when it was Hilda. And I don't think it's going to be Hilda this time. We were talking in chat about the frequency of Three Houses representation as of late. And frankly, they kind of dominated the Winter banner, right? And then we also had the Pledgian banner. We had Mythic Saros. We had this newest New Heroes banner with Marianne. And then we also had Legendary Claude. And it's only the middle of March. So like the last 3 months have been like 40% Three Houses for the most part. And so I don't think it's going to be Hilda again. All of that was basically just to tell you, I don't think it's going to be Hilda. I hope it's not Hilda. Like, I imagine that Three Houses fans, and I am one, might be getting maybe a little orb fatigued at this point. So I would like to assume that maybe they're hoping it's also not Three Houses so they can have a teensy little break until Choose Your Legends or maybe something in summer or maybe even Brides a couple months from now. I'm thinking that maybe they'd like a slight repose as well. But could be Hilda. I don't think it's Hilda. But Sarah was another one of those options. And again, there's another reason why I mentioned her, but we'll get into that later. Another one that was brought up in chat, Kyria. I don't think it's Kyria. You can see that the strands are very different when it comes to her. Also, her hair is like crazy long. I don't know if you've got Kyria in Fae or if you've played Tokyo Mirage Sessions. You should, by the way. It's a good game. But ultimately, her hair is like crazy long. Like touching the floor levels of long. All right? Crazy long. But it could be her. I mean, these are pretty dominant pigtail wearers in Fire Emblem. So, I mean, it's very possible that it could be them. I wouldn't be surprised if it was either of these three, to be honest, but I'm very much hoping that it is Severa. All right? Now, let's move on to the right. First and foremost, this is kind of who I thought it was initially. I thought we had some Inigo stuff going on. And you can see the hairlines kind of match up here, how there's a slightly smaller kind of silhouette on the far side, and then a slightly higher set up on the near side. And then there's some feathering in the back that kind of looks like it's happening there as well. And I'm pretty confident that these are damage arts, by the way. So they're going to look slightly more disheveled than normal. But I guess those are more dynamic than the units just standing still. I guess that's more... maybe it's easier to guess. I don't know. I don't know why they always choose damage arts, but that might have something to do with it. So maybe Inigo. Bo-Nigo might be a thing. Worth noting that Severa and Inigo kind of go hand in hand. We don't have Severa, technically. But we don't technically have Inigo either. We have Dancer version of him from forever ago. But we don't have his base version then. So, you know, if it was him, I would be okay with that. I'm sure other people would be happy too. It's been a while since we've had Awakening. Like, with all due respect, it has been a hot minute. Since we've had like a a juicy Awakening representation in banners. I know Pelagian Tharja, it was a thing. But outside of that, there wasn't really a whole lot happening. And Awakening fans can only be thirsted for so long, you know what I mean? Next up, Will. Now, this one was brought up in chat. I did not think of this at all. But he's got a bow. He's kind of got the hair. I mean, come on, man. This is this is almost, in sports terms, a slam dunk. I could definitely see this being him for sure. So, if it is Will, I'm down with that. I think we could use a little more Will in our lives, don't you? And he's not in the game yet either. So, a nice way to kind of ease him in, I think. Just, you know, some of the other archers from different games that aren't in the game yet. Make them seasonal. Kind of like what they did with Rolf, you know. Just an option. Something you could do. I am excited because that's definitely a bow. And like maybe we'll get a new bow cav. I really like bow calves. It's a thing. So maybe that's a possibility that we get. I don't know. I'm hoping. I'm praying. Could be Will. And then there's Urk, who would honestly pair pretty nicely with Sarah, if I'm being honest. But I'll be real. Let me shrink Will here. That hair, I mean, it kind of says Will, but I don't know. Or Urk, sorry, not Will. I mean, it does look like Will. It looks like all of them. I'll be real. But there were some Urk fans in the chat, and they like 80% convinced me that it might be him. I think there are better fits. Also, I'm not really sure why they'd make Urk a bow. He is pretty iconically a tome unit, and with so many egg tomes that we do have in FEH, I feel like he would be a good adopter of one. But maybe they would make him a bow. I don't know. I'm not here to judge, you know? I don't question the information. I just put it on display, man. That's what I'm here to do. So, could be Urk. But if you want my honest opinion, I think probably these are the two we're looking at. I think it's probably Severa and the Nego. I think there are probably 2 units from Awakening that are on this banner. And then it will probably be a combination of something else. So that is that. No idea what the harmonized unit could be. Again, if these guys are both Awakening, there's really no way to tell, you know, what the other game could be. Because again, we don't have a harmonized hero here, so tough to say. But those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments down below. And hey, while you're at it, go ahead and subscribe. Come on back. We got a lot of stuff set up. I just actually did my content schedule for the next 3 weeks, which is now being thrown off by a day because this came a day earlier than I anticipated. So we'll adjust. But you get 2 videos today that may or may not make it to your sub boxes. I guess we'll find out. But that is it for me right now. Thank you all for hanging out in the stream if you came from the stream to check this out. Thank you all for watching regardless. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for hitting notification bell. It probably helps. And thank you for watching. So that is it for me. Thanks again. And until then, I will catch you next time.